everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Debbie, and on my channel I do baking and I try to show you some easy dinner recipes. I like to cook in my crock pot. I also do some home decorating and a little bit of cleaning motivation. So if that's something you think you'd be interested in, I hope you hit that red subscribe button and join me in my journey on this channel. And also, always give me a thumbs up. Hit the bell notification too, so you're notified of every video that I upload. Okay, so today we're going to be doing a red velvet donut. I have bought these Wilton donut pans. I believe I got them off Amazon. Might have been Walmart, but they weren't very expensive. I think they were like around maybe $10. So I have two of those so we can get a dozen donuts. And we're going to also be putting a cream cheese icing on the top when they come out and they are cooled. So I hope you keep watching. Let's get into this donut recipe. The first ingredient that we're going to add for our red velvet donut recipe is 1.5 cups of flour, just regular all-purpose flour. 1.5. Move that out of the way. And then to the next ingredient to the bowl, 3/4 cup of sugar. And I'm using my 1 cup measuring. Just put a little less in there, so it's 3/4. 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt, which I already have pre-measured out. And then we're going to do 1/3 cup of cocoa powder. That is to make our chocolate flavor, of course. So 1/3 cup of this. I think I'm going to have to use tablespoon measure to get that out of there. Little more than 1/3. That'll just make them chocolatier, right? Nothing is ever neat when I bake or cook. If you've been watching my channel, I always say I'm a little messy when I cook and bake. But my mom always said, well, that makes a good cook. So we're going to whisk that together. Get it all good and incorporated. And then we're going to set that aside a minute. And here I have 1/4 cup of melted butter. To that, we're going to add in 2 eggs I've had sitting out at room temperature. 3/4 cup of buttermilk. And in one of my other videos, I did show this. I think I will show it again. A lot of recipes I came across always ask for buttermilk, and I use regular milk, but I thought I would love to have some buttermilk to see if it makes a difference in the recipe. So I bought this. It's a buttermilk powder, and you just add it with water and you have your buttermilk. Now, after you open it, you do need to put it in your refrigerator, but the expiration date on it is March of 2027. So it lasts a really long time. So I'm really enjoying having this on hand and making my own buttermilk. So I've made some in my little pitcher here. It says 3/4 cup. So we have 1/4, 2, and the 3. And to that, we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. I always keep this on so tight. Sometimes I can't hardly get it off, but we did. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. My yummy Mexican vanilla that when we went down and seen my aunt when she used to live in Texas, she lived by the border. We went to Mexico, crossed the border, and I've been hooked ever since. So I love this vanilla. I ordered it off of eBay is where I get it, and then get it shipped to me. So I have another bottle on standby. That one's getting a little low. All right, then we're going to add a teaspoon of vinegar. This is white distilled vinegar. 1 teaspoon. And then the last thing we're going to add is our red food coloring. So I have some Wilton. This is gel food coloring. I get it from Walmart. It says 1 teaspoon. I'm not sure if I even have a teaspoon in there. I think I do. But I know my teaspoon won't fit in there, so I'll just do it like this. It's going to be close. Gonna be close, but I think we have enough to make it red. So then we're going to mix up these wet ingredients. That's my oven. My oven's preheated. Set that in there. So we're going to whisk all these together. Get my eggs good and beaten up. There goes a little red all over my recipe paper. I have this favorite recipe. It's a sugar cookie recipe that I have been using for years. I mean, years and years and years. And it's a sugar cookie recipe. And that recipe card is got stuff all over it. And I just keep duplicating it, of course, rewriting it. Same thing happens. But it is a recipe that I use mainly at Christmas time to make my Christmas cutout cookies. And then I do them also use that recipe at Valentine's Day. So coming up, I will be having a day with my grandkids where we do those cookies all together. They love coming here. They all get together, make the cookies, have fun playing together. Okay, I think that's pretty well stirred up. So what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate the wet into the dry. So I'm going to just pour that in here. Let me scrape out everything. Set that over there. I'm going to try to mix this up by hand. If I see it's not wanting to cooperate, I may get my mixer out. Ooh, it's looking really nice and red. So I think I did have enough, just enough of the food coloring. Messy, messy. I should have named my channel Deb's Messes. I'm just so witty. I think I get that from my dad. Okay, I think we about got it mixed all together. This is supposed to make 12 donuts. All right, we got to spray our pans. Set that one there. I haven't even got my first cup of coffee yet this morning. I've been holding off till my donuts are done. These are going to go into a, let me get all the stuff off my paper so I can see, 425 preheated oven for 7 to 9 minutes. So let's get these in the pans. Better definitely move that out of the way. I don't make donuts very often. I have a lot of donut recipes that I can share with you. Looks like I'm probably could have put a whole 1/4 of a cup in each pan. We will see. I'm going to speed up this process, and I will be back once I get them all filled up. Okay, I think I got them in there, and you fill them up pretty much just to the top, and it took a 1/4 of a cup per each one for sure. So we have them filled. They're going to go bake 7 to 9 minutes, and while they're doing that, we'll make our icing. They just came out of the oven. They look really good. So we're going to let them cool in the pan for just a few minutes, maybe a minute or two, and then we're going to transfer them over to the wire rack. All right, while they're cooling, we're going to make our cream cheese icing. I have 3 ounces of cream cheese, very soft in here. To that, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. Hang on, got to get me some measuring cups. I cleaned up a little bit while they were baking. Threw all my measuring cups in the sink. So 1/2 cup to that. We'll see, could need a little more. Teaspoon of vanilla. A few drips more. So good. Then we're going to add some red food coloring. Now I want my icing actually to be a pink color. think I'm going to mix this together first. We might need to add a little milk to it. It just depends. Do you want a glaze or do you want more of an icing consistency? I think I'm going for more of an icing consistency. I want mine a little thicker. I might add a touch more powdered sugar. So I definitely don't think I'm going to add any more or add any milk. Let's do a touch more of this. It doesn't look like it's making a whole lot of icing. So we'll just have to see how far this goes. We may have to make a bit more. I think that's about the consistency I want. So I'm going to try to just add a touch of red to give it a hint of pink. Now I do have clear vanilla extract. It just doesn't have the flavoring that that does. But if you really want a white icing, I would recommend using clear vanilla extract. This is making like a peachy. I'm not sure if it looks pink to me. So I may just go ahead and make it a red. But yeah, my plan was to have a pretty pink icing on top. But sometimes when you're baking, your plans change. But I think that'll be a pretty color against the deep, deep red. So we're going to go with that. Let me give it a little taste. Oh, it's a good cream cheese icing, yes. Okay. So when the donuts are totally cooled, we'll be back to ice them. Okay, they're cooled off and I have started icing them. Now, my icing is just a little bit thicker than a glaze. If we were going just for a glaze, you can take your donut. This is how they baked, this side up. Then when I dumped them out, that's the bottom. So you would take the baked side, the side up that was in the pan, turn it upside down, and you would twist it in your glaze like that. And then just lift it up and it would be all on the top. Since this is a little bit thicker, then I'm taking this and just smoothing it out a little bit around. So the easiest way would be to make your icing thinner. So you'd have more of a glaze and then you just, and I've done it that way before. And you just twist it in there, pull it up, let it drip off, turn it right side up. So I'm going to do that with the rest of them. Want it to bring it down to where they were in the pan, the halfway mark. That's where I want my icing to be. So we just continue dipping and smoothing. And then we'll continue the eating. Whoa, runaway spatula. And while their icing is a little wet, if you wanted to add sprinkles, I know little kiddos love the sprinkles, you could do that, or just eat them like they are, which we're gonna try one right now. Okay, which one do I want? Like a little kid, I always got to look for the one that's most appealing. I'll just take the one closest to me. Here we go. Very tender and soft on the inside. Excuse me, chewing. Really taste that chocolate flavor. The cream cheese icing really sets it off. Got my cup of coffee. A donut and coffee. You can't go wrong. Hope you try these at your house. And until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Bye. Can't stop eating. Makes me happy. Oh, goes so well.